Hello, 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 hello. This is Tez of the Unknown, and I'm here to talk about the return of the great and the amazing AJ Lee. Now, she was a trailblazer for the women's division. She fought for them to get more screen time and to get as equal pay as the men. Um, and her promos were just, especially towards the end of her career, was just as great as her husband's promo, CM Punk. But since she left in 2015, everybody's been clamoring for her return. I have been as well, but I had just basically given up hope. And then a little bit of hope was restored because they were teasing it so hard, and Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, like they were gonna make, like it seemed like it was something going to happen with that, and CM Punk. And everyone was throwing out Rhea Ripley, which would have been something that WWE would do. They always, not always, but there are times when they just let us down, and we just get used to it. Um, Bailey, somebody else. Even somebody threw out Ronda Rousey. Like, no, God, you know how CM Punk would be turning his stomach right now. Be sick to his stomach, but no, it's not that. We finally got AJ Lee back. And Becky Lynch sold that. Her and Seth, but especially Becky, sold how important AJ's return was. The crowd did its part. CM Punk did his part. AJ Lee did her part, but it was up to her dance partner, Becky Lynch, to be able to pull that off. Just the facial expressions and the way the beatdown went on. She was just putting the beats, the Becky Lynch. It was so great. It was really great. And, you know, now they got the new merch. I plan on getting the new merch soon. Money a little tied up. But I will get me some new merch from AJ Lee. I don't care. It's men's apparel. It's in the men's apparel AJ Lee stuff. So what? I'm gonna buy me one. Come on now. I got like Stephanie Vaquer and Julia. I'm waiting for EO's emo thing to be a thing on his shirt. WWE, I'm looking at you. You know, make that happen. But yeah, I'm totally gonna buy me an AJ Lee shirt. But her return was so great, and it was just like if you would have told me 10 years ago that there would be at some point CM Punk and AJ Lee would be in a WWE ring again, I wouldn't have believed it. I would have hoped for it, but I wouldn't have believed it. But you can all thank, and we can all thank Mr. Real Glass Jack Perry because of his dumbass decision and the absolute dysfunctional TKO. Well, not TKO. We're gonna get to them in a minute. Tony Khan, Mr. TK himself, Mr. He feared for his life. We would not be having any of this happening. So give them a little round of applause. Round of applause. Round of applause. Alright, let's stop. But it also came down to Triple H burying his ego enough, and CM Punk letting go of his ego enough to make this happen as well. CM Punk is on one of those runs, bro. Everyone was talking about, oh, he's so burnt out. He's overrated. He's this, he's that. Bro has been putting on a showcase in matches and really great storyteller as well. He's always been that way, and it just keeps getting up. The ante keeps getting up since he's been back. And I feel now, I think the success of CM Punk having what he was having, and the women's division probably being as the best it's ever been, especially NXT, which by far has the best um, women's division in the world. I'm saying that may seem a little biased, but you watch women's division on NXT. You tell me if you think any different, because I'm telling you, Shawn Michaels is doing a master class over there. But AJ Lee decided to come back, and I know she had a thing going on with dang, I am so blanking on her name right now. But if for those of you who watch the show Lucifer, it's Ella. I'm so I'm so blanking on her name right now, and it's pissing me off. But she's AJ Lee's back now, and so hold up, let me look up something first. Give me a second. I need to know what her name is. Ella. So I feel like I loved her in Lucifer. So what's her name? Amy Garcia. There you go. Amy Garcia. All right, people. Amy Garcia. Her and Amy Garcia had some things going on. I think they started their own production company, if I'm not mistaken. And I really thought that they were in a comic book. Actually, I think they have a comic book together as well. And I thought they were really going to focus on that. So at best, I thought AJ Lee was going to just have a not a one-off, but she'll have like here and there, like almost like a Roman Reigns schedule, I would say. But no, there was then a video that was posted into the early morning hours of AJ Lee signing her WWE contract with Triple H, and she's like, "You can't get rid of me now." And Triple H just had this smile on his face. It was really cool. And they even had a picture where they were like, the pointing Triple H's signature pointing picture that he does with new signees or new champs. And so he had that, and it was CM Punk, AJ Lee, and Triple H all in that picture, and it was just like, it's so freaking cool, and I'm so happy for CM Punk. I'm so happy for AJ Lee, and the crowd in Chicago was, of course, crazy, because they're pretty much like the king and queen of Chicago. I'm sorry, but they are. And I can't wait for her now. She's going to be on Monday Night Raw. And oh yeah, okay, so I skipped over this little part. The contract is a full-time contract, so that means that she's going to be on the road with her hubby on Monday Night Raw for the foreseeable future, because that's where he's at. Unless they change it to SmackDown, I don't think they will, because he's such a draw, and Netflix really wants all their draws. But anyways, it seems like we've got that. And so we got WrestlePalooza coming up, and that's going to be so hyped, because we got CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. That's what they're building up to. And, I'm picking CM Punk and AJ Lee. Come on now. Ain't no way she's going to lose her return match. That'd be crazy. But now we can have all the matches. She can even go up with Roxanne, who she calls her surrogate daughter, and Roxanne, calls her surrogate mom. Let's see what AJ Lee thinks of Roxanne being part of the Judgment Day. Let's see if he has a few words about that. That would be a great little rivalry right there. I think her and Becky Lynch, an Intercontinental Championship match, is a match worthy of a WrestleMania match. I'm sorry. I thought Becky Lynch would drop the title sometime in November, or maybe even in January. I'm thinking she needs to hold on to it until WrestleMania, where she can lose it to AJ Lee, and AJ Lee becomes your new IC champion. If you watch the video, I'm not going to play it, because again, they have those copyright things. I'm not dealing with that. AJ Lee had the Intercontinental Championship that Becky left as she got her ass whooped, and it was just holding it in high up in the ring. CM Punk being like a proud husband, just right there cheering her on. She was skipping around the ring. It was just amazing, just so surreal. I can't wait for Monday Night Raw to see that reaction for her. Well-deserved reaction. And I think that's what we're going to build up to. But I think a nice feud with Roxanne would be really cool. surrogate mom versus surrogate daughter, and then you got Lyra Valkyria. You got a stacked women's division on Raw that you can have AJ Lee go up against. But yeah, I think that there'll be like a small like side feuds for AJ Lee, monumental in a way for AJ Lee to go through. But I think eventually all roads lead back to Becky, and I think we'll have ourselves a Becky versus AJ Lee IC title match at WrestleMania. What better way to showcase two women, the two disruptors, the two gut checkers of the women's division, fighting it out at WrestleMania. That would be so freaking amazing. Again, AJ Lee's back. I'm so happy to see that. And I'm not even going to mention the other return because the other return doesn't even need any mentioning. I'm not even going to mention that Crap Ruzel's name, that douchebag. So we're not even going to mention his return because... but I will be rooting against him. Y'all know who I'm... If you've been watching... If you watch SmackDown, you know who else returned. You know who I'm talking about. John Cena needed to whoop that ass. So that's all I had to say about that. Now, going into John Cena, you know, his retirement tour has been kind of bumpy. They had a heel turn that was a generational heel turn. And then Triple H and Rock were hurting each other's feelings. Rock decided to leave and probably made an Oscar-worthy movie out of it called The Smashing Machine. I haven't seen it yet, but you get a 15-minute standing ovation. You got people talking about Rock about to win the Oscars. Bro, I'm happy for him. I want him to win an Oscar. But anyways, John Cena's retirement tour had to pivot here and pivot there. Finally, he got back to being the babyface some all really love to hate, but now they really, appreciate him. Just like I've had to, appreciate the things that he did. It was just a tough time. I know it's tough for a babyface to always have to deal with a straight babyface to deal with people like me who were clamoring for him to do a heel turn all those years ago, and to really just appreciate him and love what he's done. That's what this is, man. It's just an appreciation. You can put all the things aside, the 5 moves of doom or whatever, but to appreciate what John has done in this ring, giving it his all, and just he wishes he could do more, but he can't do it anymore. You just got to give him his love, and I really wish I could have gone to one of his shows, but sucks, but that's just the way it goes. You just wish nothing but the best for John. And you would think that the company like WWE would do that for him, but they thrown in douchebag. I'm gonna call him BL because I don't even want to call him. They threw in BL. And they tried to make it seem like it's what John wanted. John didn't want it. John basically said that, whoever they give to me, I want. I'll go ahead and not want, but I'll go ahead and I'll wrestle. You can tell he wants Edge. Edge's contract is almost up in AEW. I don't know if that's happening. Edge could just come for like a year and retire as well. But I think he's having fun with Christian over there on AEW. So I'm not so sure that he's going to be back in a WWE ring, but I know that's what John wants. John wants it so bad, and I want it bad for him too. But I don't think that's happening, and that freaking sucks. Instead, he got BL, and look, some fans want. I don't want. I honestly don't want to see that fool in the ring, especially with all that crap that's hanging around him. WWE does not need Brock Lesnar, but TKO apparently does. So they screwed John there, and then they screwed John again. This time, it's his last match, his last match ever, and it's supposed to be in Boston, but. And it was going that way. Even his father said it was supposed to end with him in Boston in December. But because TKO is a greedy son of a bitch entity, they decided to forego a man who gave everything to WWE for 20 to 25 years and was like, you know what? I think we're going to put it up for a bid. Let's see who's willing to pay the most for John Cena's final match. Where will it be? And it came down to Boston and Washington, D.C. Boston lost. So it's in Washington, D.C. now. Now, John can't even have what he wants for his retirement tour. That is so stupid. And that's so disrespectful to what he has given to this business, to this ring, to us fans. And it's again another thing showing from TKO how greedy they are and how they just don't care about the fans. They care about the money. That's what it is. That's why they made the move to ESPN. Now, I'm going to be fine with the move to ESPN because I already have all the stuff for ESPN and, whatever. But there's people that are not going to. And so they got even mad. ESPN even got mad at Stephanie for sharing a VPN thing, a VPN ad. But for me, it just shows how TKO is just not really interested in giving the fans what they want. We say we wanted more exposure of the wrestling, wrestling, pro wrestling to everywhere. But at this point, it's like TKO's just taking it and just trying to strip it away from the real wrestling fans and just make it so it'll be like a night out. Kind of like how boxing and UFC have just kind of become. It's not even, you can't even, the real fans are the ones at home watching it, paying like 50, 60, 70 bucks to watch it. It's not really those guys in the stands anymore. It's not really them anymore. It's more like someone you take on a high expensive date and shit like that. And that's what it became. And that's what wrestling, WWE at least, is slowly starting to become. Because it was a place where you could go. And the wrestling, let me tell you something about the wrestling community. IWC is toxic as fuck. But when you go to an arena, bro, I've gone to an arena and they are so freaking cool. I think I've said this before in a video. They are so freaking cool, man. Like, I was just like talking, just throwing out my opinions just to my friends that I go with. And somebody chimed in, and you would think like it would be like on X or whatever, where everyone's talking, oh, you stupid, this ain't gonna happen, or this and that. No, man, they even chimed in and said, oh, maybe that could happen, or they, just sharing opinions. That's the cool thing, man, about being in a WWE crowd. They are so welcoming, and to now start chipping away at it to people that just don't necessarily care, but they see what's hot right now and they want to just take their date on. And, some of them actually become wrestling fans. Others are just like, that would be kind of cool. But it's just to the point where pricing is getting so high that people, like, $70,000 for, like, ground seats, front row seats, they're already high, for my liking. But before that. Now it sounds like so astronomical. People who usually pay for it are not going to. They just figure they'll just sit at home and watch it. You're just taking the heart out of what wrestling is, especially for WWE. And AEW is on the rise from what I'm hearing, and they're doing well. But right now, TKO is slowly killing this business. And here's the thing, AEW, they don't even need to say anything. And they haven't really been saying anything. Unless you count Monet. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But that's because they keep asking her. But anyways, just watch TKO slowly drain the blood out of WWE. What makes WWE what it is. And so I just feel bad for John. John deserved to have that moment, that time on at home where he could just say goodbye, leave his stuff in the ring, and just walk away, go home, celebrate with his family. Instead, he got to be in Washington, D.C. Why? There is no need for him to be in Washington, D.C. No sentimental value. And it's not a dig at Washington, D.C., okay? But it's not John's home. It's not where he wanted to have his last match at. He wanted it in Boston, and you didn't give it to him. Hell, you could have had Chicago been his final place because that held sentimental value, more sentimental value than Washington D.C. You could have had Washington D.C. replace the dates for Washington D.C. and Chicago, and I get it because the whole AJ Lee, but still. You didn't even do that. You didn't even pick a place to send him. You couldn't even pick him having a match. What was it? I think he wanted it in. Was it in France or was it in Canada? I can't remember. It was another. It was another place where he picked that he could have had his final match at, and you couldn't even give him that. They couldn't even give him that. So now he's got to go wrestle his final match in Washington D.C. and he's not gonna say anything bad about it. He's just gonna keep going. But he deserved that. He deserved a match with AJ Styles. He deserved a match with Edge. Hell, I think it would have been kind of cool to have seen him versus the final boss. Him versus Drew McIntyre would have been really great too. But we're not getting those. Because TKO just royally screwed John Cena, the greatest of all time, for greed. For just a little bit more, squeezing as much as it can out of the company. I'm sorry to end that video on a downer, but I just think it sucks that John is not going to get what he wants for his retirement tour, and it's just absolutely disrespectful to that and to what he's given to this business. So it is what it is. It is what it is. John's not going to totally dwell on it. He's going to do what he's going to do, and then he's out and he's gone, and he said he's not going to come back, like, for a match or anything. So, I mean, I get it, because it would be hard for him to be in the ring just for him to just talk or whatever. But, that could change eventually, but I can see his point. He's going to focus on acting. But, yeah. So let me know in the comment section, you guys. Thank you for listening. Let me know in the comment section. How psyched are you for the AJ Lee return? What do you expect now that she signed a multi-year contract, full-time contract with WWE? What do you want from her return? What do you want to see her go up against? Let me know in the comment section. And also let me know how you feel about John Cena not being able to wrestle in Boston as well, because I want to hear about that shit too. Let me know in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Tips in the unknown. Logging off.